From 1963 until 1989, Gladys and I lived most of our lives in Southern California. In 1972, we moved from Los Angeles to the high desert and lived in Lancaster, California. One of the great things about the high desert is we were within easy driving distance from the mountains, beaches, second largest city in the country, and of course we lived on the edge of the Mojave Desert. One of the areas we visited often was the Angeles National Forest. The Angeles National Forest separates Los Angeles City from the rest of Los Angeles County and is an area of over 650,000 acres. It has camping, hunting, backpacking, and many day-use picnic grounds. In the 70s, we were living in Lancaster, and Mom and Dad and the rest of the family still lived in Los Angeles. A number of times we would meet halfway, spend the day together at one of the camping or picnic grounds in the mountains of the Angeles National Forest. This film was one we made at the Monte Cristo Campground in September of 1974 when we all got together for to spend the day and have a picnic. And we're starting out with Bill and my sister Lucy. We're trying to climb the tree. Now I got Sue, caught her eating again. And there's Bill sitting in the tree. But we had about everybody came to the picnic, whole family, and including Sherry and Rob, our neighbors, but by then part of the family. And there's Kitty and Fritz coming back from a hike somewhere. Neither one of them seemed to be having much luck there climbing that tree, but might have been a good thing, or we might have had a broken leg. And there's my brother Jim and Carl, and got Kitty at the table there, and Mom at the picnic table, trying to avoid the camera. And Jim's getting the guitar out. Most of them in the family played the guitar, except me. And here's Dave and Rob coming back from some kind of a expedition and up in the hills. It was a pretty good place for the kids to play, pretty safe. Unfortunately, I don't have didn't have sound, didn't have the sound camera, or didn't have sound film when I took this. Don't remember which, but Carl and Jim playing. And kids climbing all over the hills behind us. The elevation in this area is around 3,500 feet. Peaks in the same area as high as about 8,600 feet. Mount Wilson is near there, and all the TV stations have their transmitters on Mount Wilson. I rode in the co-pilot seat one time with the Northrop pilot when we were flying through that canyon at 6,500 feet, and we could look up at peaks around us and out at the canyon walls on either side. One of the mountains, one of the peaks in that area is Mount Wilson, and that's where there's an observatory and also where most of the TV transmitters are for LA. They put them all in that high elevation, and if either side of the mountain, if you could see the mountain, you could get good, clear TV reception. Of course, that was from days before cable. There's Dad at the table, and looks like everybody getting ready to eat. But Looked like we had plenty of food along. And there's the motorhome that they had. The kids named it Jupiter, or Jupiter 2 actually. And then later on, by the late 70s, they got a smaller one, and Gladys and I bought that one from them. The reason the kids named it the Jupiter 2 was after the TV show Lost in Space, where I guess their spaceship was named the Jupiter. So when Mom and Dad bought that, then Kitty and Jim called it the Jupiter 2. Yeah, Dad and Gladys, they're yeah. Looked like we had barbecue chicken. Yeah, and Sherry, Kitty, and Fritz. Yeah, and Jim running around like a country boy with that straw hat. So it didn't last long. Yeah, we can see it was a little breezy there. Yeah, I always like to catch people eating when I took these movies. Not sure what he was saying, and not good at lip reading. Maybe that's good. And this is Carl's girlfriend, Joyce. She was not feeling good that day, or some reason she wouldn't come out of the motorhome. She stayed in there and didn't come out and mingle with the rest of the crowd. So Carl was trying to get her to come out and join the group. Sherry talking away there until I caught her. You know, somebody got the camera away from me there for a minute. And this is Joyce. Sue didn't like having her picture taken either, but I got her. Uh-oh, this was, we had a visit from the forest ranger. Uh, we had paid for one spot, but we were only using one picnic area, but we actually had cars parked in the second one, and they came and gave us a little static about that, and I think we had to pay for the second spot. And there's Bill and Jim. They're being harassed by some bees, and Jim trying to kill the bees with a rubber band. So I don't think he was too successful. He determined there. Well, the girls might have appreciated if I'd cut that out. They were sitting there eating again, and Jim's still having trouble with the bees. And just some of the scenery around where we were at. We were down in a kind of a canyon area where the road runs through. Road that this campground is on runs from the Sunland Tahunga area over through the mountains and comes out near Palmdale. And it's one that I don't know what they're planning on doing there, but dragging Kitty around the camp. So, but this was on a road that we usually took as a shortcut. It was a little shorter. I mean, you couldn't drive as fast as the freeway, but it was shorter going through the canyon over the mountain than it was going around, and a lot more scenic. So we used to do that. From what I understand today, though, that you have to have a permit to drive through that area. It's all national forest, and the Antelope Valley and Palmdale, Lancaster, where we live, the population is so large that that is everybody being smart aleck here at the end. Population is so large now that they restricted how many people can drive through that canyon. Because when we lived there was only about 60,000 people, and now it's about 500,000. All the kids got to show off for the camera. Well, I think I remember what my sister said there, but I won't repeat it. So, and we're all getting ready to leave. So I'm standing in front of the motorhome and kind of staged this, but Carl was going to run over me, and so there we go. And now we're out on the road, following him down the road. So can't remember whether we were headed down to L.A. with them or why we were following them, because we lived in Lancaster. But anyway, we passed both of them there, so they must have been continuing on over where this looks like going on up the canyon. So they must have been coming back over to Lancaster where we live. This was a passing zone too, by the way, so I wasn't being a totally reckless driver there. And that was just about up to the top.